woman loses her husband is a major problem. So to ensure that the crisis of widowhood are greatly reduced, we are intervening in supporting widows as well. Now to education. On assumption of office, we found out that the state had totally lost his focus on education. The focus was more on tertiary education without any consideration for the secondary and primary education. And this was fatal. Fatal in the sense that, okay, if you are concentrating your resources on university, who are those that will attend university? So when we saw this, we organized a summit of education. A summit of education in which we invited several experts worldwide under the leadership of Professor Wole Soyinka. They brainstormed for 2 days and came up with a communique on how to address education. We all agreed that what was important was basic education. So ever since, we have been tackling the issue of basic, at least foundational education that prepares students for meaningful life, either in the college or outside the college. That requires reconstruction of virtually all basic education buildings, infrastructure, and retraining of teachers. To be effective, we felt we should structure the basic education absolutely. So we now have, instead of primary, junior secondary, and senior secondary, in Osun we have elementary, middle, and high school. For this to really be successful, a huge sum of money needs to be allocated to reconstruction of virtually all public schools. The first phase will require building 100 elementary schools if the capacity to accommodate 900 students. We must build 50 middle schools with capacity each for 900 students. And then we must build at the first phase. I'll tell you why that number is critical. We must build 20 high schools with capacity for 3,000 students. I will explain the 3,000 students. It's not right to have 3,000 students in one school. It's even impossible. It's not advisable. But to maximize the common facility for a large number of students because of our resources, we must have a school complex that can accommodate 3,000 students, but not in one school. So the high school complex is composed of 3 schools in one. Each school with capacity for 1,000 students. So if you look at the number I've mentioned, if a complex of high school will accommodate 3,000 in all, and we are building 20, so we are catering for 60,000 students. But the students we have in our high school today are 150,000. In the middle school, where we are building just 50, each with capacity for 900. So the number of students in that segment is about 450. Then in the middle, when we began the process, we had less than 100,000 in elementary school. But with the introduction of meal at the elementary school, the number has jumped from about 150 to 220,000. So what we are going to get in all, we have about 750,000 students in our public primary and secondary schools. 750 students. We are feeding of 220. We are feeding students in their formative ages, that is 6 years to 9 years. Elementary school, grade 1 to 4. Good meal every day. To prepare the meals, we recruited ladies in their late 30s and early 40s. We have 50,000 of them. We recruited them, we trained them, and we provided them with facilities to prepare food for the students and equally serve as community caterers during weekends. They make enough from their services to the school to live, and they patronize the local market. So there's backward integration. That is, through the school feeding system, which we call meal, the students are properly nourished, the farmers are engaged, and the women are equally empowered. So with this, we then finally on education. Two things are still outstanding that I'm not speaking about. One, because of general poverty, students who go to school go in all forms of tattered dresses. Majority of them don't dress well. And the sight is not good at all. We felt that as a government, we must intervene. The intervention, however, must again address the issue of the economy. It's not just intervention because we must intervene. Yes, there is the need to properly clothe our children and make schooling very, very enjoyable and attractive. But we must situate it in such a way as to energize the economy. So to do this, we adopted a system that will utilize the fabrics locally produced and equally engage the tailors in our towns and villages. So with that, we invested a huge sum of money again into, but I'm talking about the need, why we chose social intervention over and above physical development in our bid to build the economy and prepare the people for the future and the present. We have supplied through that all our pupils in secondary and primary school uniforms. But we have 3 categories of uniform. Uniform for elementary school. So when you go to my state, by looking at the students, you know what level of education they are. You have the elementary school uniform, you have middle school uniform, you have the high school uniform. Very beautiful. But above all, the uniform, besides the attraction and the beauty it gives to the students, is equally empowering the locals, the cloth fabric makers, and the tailors. And an industry has emerged. There is a company now engaged in the production of school uniforms based in the state. And interestingly, that company, on the strength of the order we gave it, has won a huge order from America to supply about 100,000 medical scrubs to America on a monthly basis. And that will generate additional employment of about 10,000 people in Osun. So that is a major achievement on the school uniform. Besides that, economically too, the cost of production of uniforms has fallen, has reduced considerably. When the parents were going to tailors individually to sew the school uniform, the cost of a uniform, a set of uniforms, was between 3,000 and 5,000 naira. But the production cost of this mass-produced uniform is about 1,200 naira. So if you want to even sell in the retail shops, the maximum, the neutralized uniform will cost is maximum of 2,000 or 1,500, and that will still give premium to the seller at whatever level. Another innovation in education is, I don't know whether you have it here, we realize that the cost of books to either parents or students is huge, and the books don't last. So we felt that we should do something about that. So we looked at the idea of Kindle and the e-reader. We realized that Kindle or e-reader on its own will be expensive, because we need more than just textbooks to give the students good education at a considerably reduced cost. So we went into development of a software which will allow us to upload into a computer hardware all textbooks required for secondary education, all textbooks. We equally realize that textbooks